we've got a plan that's designed in conjunction with the IHSA, the governor's office, the health departments, our superintendent, Du Bois County corporations. That we feel pretty confident about, that we can bring kids back in and start getting them in touch with their coaches and getting them conditioned and back to a point that we can start thinking about playing athletics in the fall. And we think we can do it safely. Now, this changes day to day, hour to hour. It could change later today. It could change Monday. It could change 3 weeks from now. But we think we're prepared with a solid plan right now, and we'll try to execute it starting on Monday.
When this all started, you told your coaches and everybody involved, the players at all the sports, hey, we need to stop. We need to let this thing play out a bit. Were you confident that everybody did what they were supposed to do during this time off?
I do. I think our coaches have been great. The number one message we were telling them was be patient. Everybody was on their edge of the seat, me included, trying to figure out, what's it going to look like? When are we going to get back? How are we going to get back? But we just kept telling our coaches, be patient. When we have a plan, we'll get it to you. But nobody had answers, and I'm not for sure anybody's got answers now. I think we're just in a position we feel pretty comfortable going back and getting ready to play in the fall. And bottom line is we've got to get kids back in school. We've got to get them back with our coaches. There's a social aspect of this that, they've been missing for 4 months, going on 5 months by the time we get back into school. So we've got to get kids back into school in some type of normalcy. But normal is not going to be our old normal, and we've all got to be able to adjust, and it's a fluid situation, and we'll keep adjusting as we go.
I'm sure there are pages of guidelines that you're going to have to go over with your coaches, with the players. Just highlight some of the things that you guys will do to keep the kids safe, and you talked about, the new normal.
Well, we've got a 3-phase approach that's broken down in about 2 weeks increments here at the beginning, and then right into fall practice. And we limit kids a little bit in the first couple of weeks to make sure that they're going to be conditioned to be able to handle. We don't want them to come back and spend 60 hours in week 1 trying to catch up. We've sent the message to our coaches, you're not going to make up for the last 3 or 4 months in the next week or the next month or the next 2 months. We've just got to start from scratch here on July 6th and try to get kids ready to go. We're increasing our sanitation guidelines. We've closed locker rooms until the start of fall practice. No sharing of equipment, bring their own water bottle, things that we can control that will keep our kids safe and try to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19. We're going to live with it. It ain't going anywhere. We just got to figure out how to go on with life and mitigate that transmission as much as possible and keep our kids and our fans and our community safe.
It could be a busy time, say, for a 3-sport athlete once this all kicks off, right?
It could, but we met with our coaches last week and talked to them about the guidelines and the time restrictions for the first couple of weeks, and then even after that, understanding that kids may or may not have been doing things over the last 3 or 4 months. And again, we're not going to make up for the last 3 or 4 months in the next 4 weeks. So we had to be cognizant of what kids were doing, and we had our coaches sit down and go over what their ideas were within our guidelines. So that we could spread out what they were doing. And conditioning is number one focus, getting those fall sport athletes ready to go, and then also getting them some time with their winter and spring coaches when that's possible.
I've been asked the question 100 times since March. What do you do with your time? What do you do without sports? And I'm sure you have been the same way with, no games or activities, but I'm sure it's a busy time, probably meetings and probably a little bit of Zoom.
There has been some good downtime at different times, but I can tell you since we left school in March until just an hour ago, I've been in Zoom meetings and virtual meetings and things constantly for the last 3 months, just trying to figure out what we're going to do and move forward. At the same time as planning for whatever our new normal is going to be and getting athletics going in the fall. But I did get some honey-do list things done that I probably wouldn't have gotten done any other time. But I think my kids and my wife are probably ready for me to go back to work. Nobody
has a crystal ball, but do you expect things to, be ready to go, say August 21st when everything really gets going?
I would like to say yes. I talked to Commissioner Neidig, and he always is telling you go in 2-week increments, and I think that's right. We're going to start Monday, and we'll see what 2 weeks after that looks like. But I think we're all pretty confident of getting started in the fall. And the consistent message that we're telling our coaches and our kids is we're going to start July 6th. How long we last after that is a lot up to them, and our kids have to understand what their responsibility is, and we may have them for a 90-minute period here, and then they're home for 22 and a half hours. So what they're doing in that time away is as important as what they're doing here, and so it's important that everybody understands that, and we all work together, and hopefully we're playing sports again as normal.